Hello, welcome back to Lifestyle Medicine Global. Today we're going to talk about a really important topic that I'm very passionate about. It's about obesity, how we define obesity, how to prevent, and how to treat and reverse this condition. So obesity is basically having excess fat in the body, and this can easily be seen by, if you start to have a protruding stomach and excess, tissue, excess fat towards the side of your stomach, that you're having a problem with weight. So what causes this problem? This problem is caused by excess fat in the body. And where is the fat coming from? The fat is coming from mainly animal-based foods. The animal foods are high in fat, and when we eat them, the body is actually programmed to store fat. So when we eat foods that are high in fat, any fat that we eat, the body is going to store, because fat is supposed to be a reserve energy. It's supposed to store it so you can use it when you're starving. And most of us are not starving, we are frequently eating. So what happens with all this fat that we are eating is we are storing it. And basically that's what happens. And we have adipose tissue which stores fat, but that quickly, fills up depending on how much fat, how much of these foods that you're eating, and that fills up, and then the fat spills over and start to go into your muscles and your liver, and it accumulates in places where it should not be. Another source of fat or oils is processed foods. So you think of your pastries, your cookies, ice cream, all these foods that are cooked with butter, and oils. Lots of oils. So this is another source of fat, all these ultra processed foods. And another source of these extra oils and fats is refined oils that we use to cook at home. There are people that really like to use a lot of oil when they cook, and this is another significant source of fat as well. So when we eat all this fat, as I said, the body is programmed to store it. So it just stores it. So what causes obesity is the excess fat that we are intaking, and that's what's causing this problem. And we know what is causing the problem. It's easy to fix it, but then the problem is, all these eating habits, they are cultural, and unfortunately people get addicted to food, especially this factory-made food or fast foods that have a mixture of sugar, salt, and fats. They're addictive. The dairy foods are addictive as well, because they have this casomorphin. It is a weak opioid that can cause some addiction, and that's why people who adopt plant-based nutrition struggle with stopping the cheese because of the casomorphin. You have more of it concentrated in cheese than, let's say, in milk, and it's as I said, it's naturally found in milk. And so this causes all these problems. And these ultra processed foods that have a lot of sugar, mixture of salt and oils, are also working on our reward system, on the dopamine release, and causing these good feeling, and people get addicted to this kind of foods as well. So the easiest way, people do a lot of stuff trying to lose weight. They adopt diets, they exercise, they work out. But I can tell you, exercise is good. Exercise is very good for a lot of things, but exercise really does not help when it comes to weight loss. What really helps when it comes to weight loss is the food, the nutrition, and a way that has been proven scientifically to lead into healthy, sustainable weight loss is whole food, low fat, whole food, plant-based nutrition. And that involves eating food that are minimally processed, and they are plant foods and they are whole foods. And there are 4 groups of foods when it comes to the whole food whole food diet, that is whole grains, your legumes, nuts and seeds, and then your vegetables and fruit. And then you want to make sure you get your vitamin B12, because the vitamin B12 is made by bacteria in the soil, and the way that we sanitize our food, we cannot really depend on that. And when you're not eating animal foods, because animals that have been feeding on the ground get vitamin B12. So that's the thing, the vitamin that you want to supplement. But other than that, there's no portioning and carb counting when it comes to whole food plant-based nutrition. You just eat until you get satisfied, and then you stop. No overeating. And just the food itself, because it's low calorie, it's low fat naturally, and that's how it's supposed to be. Food, are not food that is meant for our body, which is plant food, is high in carbohydrates, about 60% carbohydrates, and then it's 10 to 20% protein, and then about like 10% oils. It's little when it comes to all these like protein and fats. It's pretty low, and that's how it's supposed to be, because the body needs the carbohydrates. That's your energy source, that's your power, that's what powers your body. So all these diets that are avoiding carbohydrates are not good, because you should not be doing that. You need the right kind of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates that are not processed, like brown rice, brown bread, like whole wheat, spaghetti and pasta, quinoa, and all these grains that aren't processed are good for you. And beans, lentils, they also have complex carbohydrates. Your fruits and vegetables have complex carbohydrates as well. So these are the ones that you want to eat, not the processed, not high fructose corn syrup, not soda, sugars and all these pastries and cakes and candies, not those kind of sugars for sure. And the problem with those, people associate those carbohydrates with weight gain. And the reason why that happens is because of the fat that they have. A lot of these foods come with the fat as well. They're not just coming plain carbohydrates. The body does not really convert carbohydrates to fat. It turns, it's the fat that gets stored as fat. The carbohydrates again gets burned off, because the body doesn't really want to store the carbohydrates. It's it uses energy in the body, so the body doesn't really want to do that. So the easiest way to lose weight, and this has happened, once you adopt a whole food plant-based diet, then you will be able to lose weight because of these low calorie, low fat foods, and your increased metabolism. And also you want to add on top of that exercising. That way that will also help to maintain the weight. And that's really it. That's what you need to do. And the fat that's already in the body will come off. It will come off by itself. And people have been able to lose up to 10 kilos in 2 months, like 20 pounds in 2 months. And you want to, and this kind of nutrition will ensure that you have a steady weight loss and be able to maintain and keep the weight off in the long term, because you're making a lifestyle change. It's not a diet that you're doing for weeks and months and going back to old habits. You want to switch from animal-based diet to plant-based diet to whole food plant-based diet, and get all the good nutrients that will rejuvenate and regenerate your body and lead to weight loss and prevent and even reverse diseases. If you have diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol problems, those will be reversed once you lose weight like this. For the most part, you can come off of your medications. If not all of your medications, most of your medications, you can come off of them once you adopt this kind of diet. So it's breaking from the culture, the addiction, but you know, you want to give it a try. Give it a try. Give it even like 3 weeks just to do this, to adopt a plant-based diet and see how you feel. For most people, you know, the motivation comes from how you feel once you are intaking these nutrients that are will really help your body to get more energy. And you know, most people will continue just because of how good they feel. So really consider doing that for successful and sustainable weight loss, while also, you know, being able to sleep. You want to be able to sleep as an adult 7 to 8 hours a night. Stress management, not drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes, those kinds of things. And you know, positive psychology, all these other health elements that help promote good health, also helpful in terms of weight management and other and just well-being. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.